Take notes.
What's your name?
My name is Tav.
That's what I thought.
That's right.
My name is Ryan.
Not Taco Bell.
I didn't even know I said that.
And this is the Take Notes podcast. Welcome back, everybody, to the Take Notes podcast. No, welcome back. Guys, this is episode 19. I cannot believe it. It's episode 19. It's cool. We've officially, we're past any point of no return. So we're here, and I think we're here to stay.
Are we?
We better be. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
It's a part of normal life now
I feel like it really is.
at this point.
Yeah.
So
It's not like, it's not so, it's just part of normal life. Like, this is just what we do on a weekly basis.
yep.
We plan our days around it now. Plan our weeks around it, around recording and producing it. You know? What is it like? I don't know. There's got to be like I forget the statistics, but like most people who start a podcast don't get past like episode, you know.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of
That was us.
what episode that was. I mean, yeah, like our first time through, we did make it to like, I don't remember. What episode did we make it to our first time through?
I think it was like 6, 7. I'm just kidding. No, I think it was.
Wow.
Sorry, I couldn't resist. I think it was like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
I want to say we never broke into the double digits.
I think you're right. Yeah.
But yes, that is true. That's statistic. I don't know exactly what the actual numbers are. I can't recall, but I remember reading that somewhere too. Yeah. What are you looking at?
The average, most podcasts do not make it past 3 to 7 episodes before the creators quit.
Mm-hmm.
It's a phenomenon known as pod fading.
Oof.
What? Statistics indicate that approximately 90% of all podcasts are abandoned before reaching episode 20. With nearly half, 47%, failing to produce more than 3 episodes. Whoa.
Whoa.
Are we
Sorry.
Are we about to like reach a milestone?
For us, yes, and
Because we're at
apparently
19. We're at 19.
Yeah.
20 is gonna be 20 is gonna be the milestone of, because it says statistics indicate that approximately 90% of all podcasts are abandoned before reaching episode 20. 90%. So we're gonna be in the 10%.
We're gonna be 10%ers.
We're gonna be in the 10% pretty soon.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. It says, going further on, key podcast attrition statistics. What's that word mean, Ryan?
Say it again.
Attrition.
Attrition. I don't know.
Look it up.
Why?
Come on.
Why are you doing
This
this
is a
to
new
me
word
on
for
the
you.
spot? How do you spell it?
ATTRITION.
Attrition.
Attrition. I have a sense it's going to be something like failing, point of failure.
The gradual reduction of a workforce.
Got it.
The actual definition from Oxford Languages says the action or process of gradually reducing the strength or effectiveness of someone or something through sustained attack or pressure.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. So key podcast attrition statistics, the rule of 3, nearly 44 to 47% of all podcasts stop at 3 or fewer episodes. The rule of 7, a widely cited statistic, is that 78% of podcasts fail by episode 7.
Yeah.
The episode 20 threshold, of the few that make it past the first few episodes, so past 3 or 7, 90% still quit before reaching 20. The top 1% rule is publishing just 21 episodes puts a creator in the top 1% of all active podcasts.
Wow.
Whoa, dude. We about to get there. We about to get there, dude.
Yeah.
What are you looking at?
Nothing. I was just trying to get fuzzies off of my pop screen.
I can't see it.
It's okay.
Yeah. Okay. Furthermore, why podcasters quit. That we didn't plan this, by the way. The high failure rate is often attributed to several factors. So, unrealistic expectations. Many creators stop right before the magic happens, quote unquote, as it often takes 100 episodes or 2 years to see significant growth. Wow. High effort, low initial return. The time required for editing, planning, and marketing often leads to burnout when the audience is initially small. Lack of consistency, irregular scheduling. Like we can relate to both those first two things. Lack of consistency, irregular scheduling is a top reason for show abandonment, which is why I'm a stickler for that consistency. The 3-episode slump. Creators often find that the initial excitement wanes off by the 3rd episode, leading to abandonment when they don't see immediate viral growth. Despite over 5 million podcasts circulating, only about 1 to 10 are actively Only about 1 in 10 are actively releasing new episodes, according to 2025 data. So that's that makes you feel better. Like whenever you hear people like, oh, you got a podcast? Cool. Everyone's got a podcast, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But it's like, yeah, people might have a podcast, but they're not actively posting consistently. They've not amassed 20 episodes.
Right.
It's different. I feel like we're definitely different. We're in a different boat. And yeah, no hate to, the people who can't do it. Cause it's hard. Like, first of all, it's hard producing it, which we've kind of got,
we've gotten better at it.
We've gotten better at it.
A lot better at it.
We've really got a hang on, a grip on what it takes to actually do it.
Yeah.
And therefore it's easier to do it now. Because it's like, I remember I experienced this when we started back up. Like when we first were going and we were rolling, I was kind of in the groove of things, producing shorts and reels and, editing audio and stuff. And then when we stopped for like a year, when we got back into it, I'm like, oh shoot, I feel like I'm having to relearn all of this, And I really was, because I hadn't done what we were doing for so long. So that's kind of crazy. But yeah, the more you do it, you get better at it. And I lost total train of thought. I was going to say something else, but I forgot. You have anything else to say? Because you got to throw me off because you were looking at something, and I was like, did I do something wrong?
No, you're fine. I was just checking shots, and Lennox is texting me right now, so okay. We're communicating. But it's funny, just along the lines of this, podcast talk. Still, Lenny FaceTimed some of her friends for the very first time today.
Yes,
and that was a big deal. I all of a sudden got this FaceTime notification on my phone from one of her friends' mom's numbers that I have, and then a random number. And I was like, wait a second. Oh, this is for Lenny. So I had my AirPods on in at the time, just like doing things around the house. And so I took them off and I was like, hey, your friends want to FaceTime you. And she was like, what, really? And I was like, yes. And so I said, you can take your conversation upstairs if you want to your room, since I'm cleaning down here and I was making, noise and ruckus everywhere. And she was like, okay. And I was like, okay, keep your door open for me though, because I want to be able just to hear you, And she was like, okay. So she runs up there, and I only allowed her to be on the phone for like 45 minutes.
Dang, that's a long time.
But it was cute. Like it was the first time, I think, for all of them, kind of like it seemed like that. Because when she answered, the girls were like, Lennox. And it was so cute. And so I was like, I'm going to let it go for a little bit, know? And so she was like showing him around, like, do you want to see my cats?
Oh, no.
Here are my cats, And she was like, yeah, I have this, and that. And they were showing each other things like on FaceTime. And she even came down here at one point for some reason. I forgot what it was, but I was setting up for the recording.
Yeah.
So I was like doing things here and there. And she was like, you guys want to see my parents' neon sign for their podcast? And then she was like, Mom, turn it on, fam, turn it on. And so I like get the remote and I turn it on and the girls are like, wow. Like they're like blown away. And Lennox was like, yeah, they have a podcast, but she tells everybody about our podcast, which is really sweet.
My parents are podcasters. Or they're YouTubers.
And I heard one of her friends, they were like, a podcast? That's so cool. She said, one of the little girls said, is it for kids? And Lennox was like, she was like, well, yeah, they talk about like Jesus and our faith and, just how much Jesus loves us. And they talk about other conversations too and other topics. And they were like, oh, and they like moved on from it so quick.
They're like, that's cool.
Yeah, it was really cute. It was sweet. It was a sweet moment. But yeah, I bring that up because she wanted to show off our neon sign, so.
Yeah, we made tons of improvements along the way.
We did.
And another thing that's like I just remember now too. Like another thing that's hard about creating podcasts and episodes every week is like feeling like you're running out of things to talk about, or you kind of get that feeling.
Right.
But like I think that often comes with, I've realized that's just overthinking.
It is, because there's a ton to talk about. I think that you have to not care.
Yeah.
Which was a struggle for me.
Right.
In this whole process. I was just like, what if we can't talk about that? Because what about this? And, or we can't touch on that subject, but it doesn't matter. I think we've also gotten to the point of all of this where every single topic and conversation is important to have.
Right.
Because I think you are allowed to have fun in life. I think that you can also have very serious conversation that is going to help you and also people that could be hearing this no matter where they are, So, and that's why that is our shtick, is like every conversation is helpful, impactful, encouraging, positive, and we want to crack a smile. Like that's literally, that's what I say all the time.
Yeah. And
so go ahead. Sorry.
No. Like I said, you can overthink it because you feel like it has to be something so like profound.
Right.
And like,
mind-blowing, relevant,
mind-blowing, cool, whatever. Like, bro, somebody out there is going to want to hear what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
That's to say like, but that's not to say like, you definitely have to have the ability to be able to carry a conversation that is interesting to people,
right.
Or can be interesting to people. You definitely have to have that ability, And I think and it makes sense that why some fall off at a certain point, because like, it doesn't take that long to figure that out.
Mm-mm.
Like whether or not you have it or not,
mm-hmm.
whether you have what it takes to be able to sustain a podcast conversation, you
Mm-hmm.
can probably find out really quick. So I guess that also probably, explains why so many fall off so quick.
Yeah.
But we about to hit that 20. You feel me? We about to hit that 20. I got to figure out where that horn is. Hold on. Wait a second. What did I even label it? What is it? Oh, found it. I labeled it horn. Okay. Anyways, I'm figuring this. I'm practicing. So like,
Dude.
2.
That's not it.
You did it on purpose.
No, it's not gonna show up. But 2, yeah. Anyways, I'm figuring this out. Applause.
Page 1 is where our audio is, and then the horn is on a different page.
No, page 1 is where page 3. Our audio's on page 3. The take notes.
Okay.
Page 2. Page 1 is
has
the horn.
The horn. Why don't you got to regroup those
Because I have
things.
1, 2. You see how I have it? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I just got to remember to cycle through correctly.
Got you, fam.
Yeah.
Anyways,
guys, this is episode 19. We got to get into this conversation. We already been yapping for 14 minutes.
Yikes.
Holy smokes! But we got to get into this because we gotta have this conversation. So, speaking of Jesus and our faith, it ties into what we're going to talk about today.
Yep.
But we're going to be talking about dating.
Yeah.
Dating.
Why?
Dating. Why dating?
Yeah.
You know what? Why? Because today my wife was like, "Hey, can you figure out a topic we can talk about today?" And I'm like, "Okay, yeah, for sure." Because I'm usually the one who kind of comes up with those. And I'm like, all right, I just kind of we'll feel this out. So I'm getting a haircut at like 5:30. I'm getting a haircut. Barber's talking, and somewhere or another we get on the topic of dating. He like starts talking about dating and stuff, and then after I leave and get in the car, I'm like, oh, we're gonna talk about dating.
Is he seeing somebody?
I don't know.
Your barber? Oh.
Yeah, he was just It's just somehow talked about like dating because
Oh.
we were talking about age and all that, age gap and stuff.
Got it.
Because he asked me how like what our age gap was.
Oh, okay.
So that kind of talking about like age gap and dating and all
Yeah.
that. So, but yeah,
That's cool.
yeah. So that's what kind of sparked this. I'm like, let's just talk about dating.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? Why not?
Why not?
Why not? But anyways, dating because I feel like dating today is wild. That's just me. Just me.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
because you got all these things. Like you got all the social media apps. Not like dating apps. Because I mean, do people really use those today, or they just kind of use those to hook up, right?
Both.
Like Tinder and all that stuff.
Both. Yeah, I'd say for both for sure.
But yeah, it's wild. It's wild. I don't have any statistics, but maybe my wife can pull some up. Popular.
Yeah, I mean, it is definitely interesting.
You keep talking. I'll pull
because
some up.
okay, great. So yeah, you got your apps that you can, like call, get a booty call at like 3 a.m. if you wanted to.
Whoa.
Sorry, it's the truth.
Okay.
It's the truth. It's the truth. Are we kidding right now? We can't be naive about this stuff, guys. And you could find someone that you link up with and things go smoothly and maybe it does flourish into a really good relationship. I think it's far and few between, in my opinion. I don't have any experience on dating apps, thank God. However, if that's your thing, kudos to you, but you have that element now. Even when you and I were dating, that wasn't necessarily a huge thing the way that it is now in culture. You can also ghost people and just be like, hey, I'm not going to talk to you ever again because
Right.
you're weird,
Block you or whatever.
Right. Yeah. If they say something wrong and, like you can easily just cut somebody off. But then like you have the dynamic of maybe catching up with them online. Cause that's like the other thing too, right? Is like all of our our lives online, our online lives that we live. You can ghost this person, cut them off, and then maybe 6 or 7,
Gosh. Millennials.
7, or I know I need to stop.
We are millennials.
My sisters can't watch this because they'll
They think it's cringe sometimes.
yeah, they're gonna
It's all good.
gas me
We still
so
love
bad.
you
But
guys.
anyway, so you could like like we have the power to be like, I wonder what this person's up to, and so you can search for them online. Maybe their stuff is public, maybe it's not, but usually it kind of is. But you could be like, oh, they have a girlfriend already, you know what I mean? Or like that was quick, they moved on really quickly, or whatever.
Yeah.
Like it's just dating is so fast paced, and if someone doesn't check a box for you, you can easily be like, okay, I'm done. Like I'm gonna ghost you, and then I'm gonna move on and find something else.
Right.
Whereas I feel like the way that it was intended is to be courted, to get to know the individual, get to know their family, really figure out the way that they tick and operate and what makes them, their personality. I don't think you have to like have them fill out a personality test by any means. I think that as time is spent, as time is invested in getting to know somebody, that organically those things come out. And so that's my belief, because that's kind of what we did basically, is that we got to know each other on a friend level, and that was it for a while until, feelings started to develop. And then we went ahead and started to pursue a relationship with each other. And at the time of where we were at in life, I'm kind of, like snowballing and packing this snowball of our relationship kind of early in the conversation, because I'm sure we were going to break it down a little bit.
Yeah, we are.
But I mean, like the gist of it was that like we were on obviously similar pathways at the time, and we wanted to go about things in a respectful way, in a way that was pleasing to God in our eyes, a way that also honored and respected the guidelines that were in place, because we started dating during the internship, which we've already kind of said here on the podcast, that we were a part of at our local church and stuff like that. So like that was our process, and we did it, and it was great. It was fun. It was fruitful. It was effective for us, in our situation. I think it varies per couple, but I think if you have like the same parameters in place, that it is effective, and it is good to maybe walk out the steps, even though you might be impatient and you're like, I really want to go on a date with this individual. I want to stay out till midnight with them. Like sometimes that's not the right move for you.
Right.
Because maybe there's some things in your heart you need to work on, which is digging a little bit deeper. But I think in a nutshell, you're comparing apples to oranges here, like online dating, quick dating with like the apps and stuff like that is accessible to every single person out there that's in that season of their life where they're dating and they're looking for somebody. Or, you can go about doing things a little bit more on a slower pace, making sure that you do have expectations for the person that you want to date, that you do have the standards, but that they're not unreasonable. You know what I mean? Because I think that we can often fantasize and put pressure on people that is just not
Right.
attainable, maybe.
Yeah. So yeah, like you're going deep into it.
Sorry.
Real quick. No, I know you're unpacking it. I think I wanted to. I've kind of got the sense of this overall in today's society from people and seeing people talk about it online, different people. But a statistic here says that 80% of singles are over casual dating and are explicitly seeking a committed relationship. And that's like in 2026. So
That's good.
That's kind of part like.
That's hopeful.
Yes, and it's hopeful, and it makes me more excited. Wow, you caught it. It makes me more excited about
I'm going to put this right here.
having this conversation and being able to talk about this a little bit more and dive into a little bit. Like, first of all, what is like the purpose of dating? What's the point of it?
I would say ultimately to get married.
Mm-hmm.
That's my perspective. I think that you have people that date to date,
Right.
to rack up numbers, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then you have the people that are like, no, like I want to date so that way I can find my forever partner, you know?
So like what you're saying is basically dating it's discernment for marriage. And then, so like you're saying, culture today, people date to see how you feel, right? Just to have fun or just to kind of,
Right.
and in that they're not really committed, right? They're not really thinking about building a life together with this person. They're just thinking like, what can I get out of this?
Yeah.
And they both can be feeling the same way. Like I do this because we're just doing this to get this out of each other. And sometimes they can be completely fine with that, but like it has to lead somewhere. Like what's going to happen when you want to have children? If you want to have children, I guess, not everybody wants to have children. But down the line, like as you get older and as you grow, like you're going to come to a crossroads. Like, are you just going to date forever or are you going to, cause like modern, like people who aren't, who don't believe the way that we believe, they live together before they're married. They sleep together before they're married. They have children together before they're married, and that just, rarely leads to a good outcome, because there's no commitment. There could be commitment. People can say, oh, you can be committed to somebody without being married to them. Sure. Yeah. But it's not like a legally binding commitment, I guess.
Also, and along the lines of like faith and spirituality though, there's a promise there when you're committed in marriage to somebody. That's a promise from God. That's a covenant.
For sure.
So, yes. So that's like, I think, yeah. Anyway, sorry. I just wanted to make that point.
No, 100%. And that's a valid point. I mean, when you're speaking from the faith side, which we are, that's our story. And we definitely will talk about that. And we already did start talking about it. But yeah, I think, and and the whole there's that whole concept of, I got to test drive the car before I know if I'm going to want to keep it, That's what people use. Yeah. It's kind of like an analogy that people use when they talk about, getting with somebody,
to somebody.
Right? Mm-hmm. So it's like, how are you going to commit to a car if you're not going to test drive it? Which is completely crazy. That's like wild.
Yeah.
And I think in the end, when you go about it that way, you're just setting yourself up for hurt, for rejection, for loneliness. Because there's definitely, like you leaned into it a little bit. There's a spiritual aspect to that, to sleeping with one another, to giving too much of yourself to another person, relying too much on another person too early. You know what I mean? And we're gonna talk through some points that maybe could help somebody who maybe you are a young Christian or an older Christian or a middle-aged Christian, looking to date, trying to date, searching for that person still, and like trying to figure out where to start, how to go about it, because there's not a lot of, because society, everything that's in the movies, everything that's on TV is really not going to model it for you, because it's just not there. Let's just be honest. In America today, it's just not there in what we watch, what we consume. So yeah, maybe we can help you out. So we kind of already talked about why dating often fails, right? The lack of intention, not necessarily ignore. We didn't really talk about red flags, but we did touch on physical intimacy too early. But maybe let's go into maybe how should we start this? How should we start if someone were to come and ask, okay, how would you go about dating right now? What kind of advice can you give me? Right? Where would we start? Where would we start? That's just a question.
Wait, say it again.
Okay.
My bad.
No. So if someone were to be at this table right now with us, they're sitting right here. They say, okay, I'm ready to date. I want to date. I'm looking for somebody. I'm done with the way that, it's okay. Let me bang it. I'm fine. I'm banging the gavel. I'm done with.
It's glass though.
I know. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm done. I'm done with the way that, the world does it.
Yeah, they're
Whatever.
tired.
I've tried it. Even as a Christian, people do try it the world's way. Let's just be honest. I'm done. I'm done with that. I want to do it the right way. They're at this table. They're asking, what advice do you have for me? Well, let's go. Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer in that you got to get yourself right. Not necessarily like perfect.
Yeah.
Because we've said time and time again, you're never going to attain perfection. However, if there's struggles that you have, maybe you're struggling with, like addictive things that you're watching online, you know what I mean? Explicit things online, whatever.
Corn addiction.
Yes, corn addiction. I was gonna say it, but I was like, I don't know.
Don't worry, I know.
Thanks.
The word C's.
Yes. So, yeah, when it comes to like that kind of stuff, like things that are deep rooted inside of you emotionally.
So like a real big problem with lust.
Yes, a lustful problem. Thank you. Yes. If you have a problem with lust, if you have a problem with, gosh, like just like those deep
Trust issues,
soul things. Yeah, like trust issues,
dependency issues,
obsession, like you said, lust, like all of those things that are big, in my opinion, big ticket items. Not that any of the smaller issues are not, because I feel like you just have to constantly be working on yourself each and every day to be a better version of you, you know? So you can tackle the big ticket things and you can tackle the smaller ticket things. But all in all, I feel as though that the bigger ticket ones often distract us and pull us away from the will that God has for our lives anyway. So my encouragement, if this person was sitting right here at this table with us, would be to tell them, hey, what are you dealing with? Let's address that. Let's bring the self-awareness to the table. Because if you're preparing yourself to become a wife or a husband, you need to be able to like come into this new season of your life as a healed and free individual in Christ, you know?
Yeah.
And that doesn't necessarily mean that baggage has to be wholly healed. However, I think that you should know how to tackle these things as before they come up in marriage, because that's just a whole other ball game when you're bringing in your spouse to battle things out with you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. And that you're touching on the first thing you would tell them, which is, okay, getting ready to date. Dating, you have to realize that first of all, it should be with the intent to marry.
Correct.
So if you're saying you got to, because you could tell that to somebody and they'd be like, well, what if I'm not trying to get married? I don't need to be ready, you know? But we are trying to say that.
But that was the question.
Yeah.
Was like, okay, I'm tired of dating. I'm tired of I'm ready to lock in. I'm ready to find my forever person, my partner. You know, and so that's why I'm practically thinking here.
Right.
As to like how you should prepare yourself for your spouse.
Right. Got it. Yeah.
And so that's why I'm
Because if you're going to be dating, you should be already thinking marriage.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And then you should also be thinking, okay, like I know that, you know, God wants good things for our lives. God wants our husbands and our wives to be good for us. And I don't necessarily believe in love at first sight. I don't necessarily believe that there's a God ordained or God appointed individual for us in our lives, because if I was in a completely different part of the world and in a completely different season of my life, but I still had a relationship with Jesus, and maybe I didn't meet you, but I met another male that was on the same path as me, that loved Jesus the way that I did, that was doing things that I felt like were of value when it comes to my faith, I probably would have married that person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We have free will. So God isn't necessarily in control of our free will. He gifted us free will to be able to make those decisions and choices for ourselves. And then hopefully, or not hopefully, things, if you love Jesus, if you're a person of faith, God will always work things out for the good of our lives, right? For the goodness. And so for his goodness. And so I think that I don't necessarily believe in like that person's for me. You know what I mean? I'm going to pray that God changes their heart and
don't do that.
No, that's you're dabbling.
That's more witchcraft.
Yeah, you're dabbling into some pretty heavy soul stuff that God did not intend for us to manipulate, didn't intend for us to pray for.
No.
None of that stuff. So
it's just manipulation. That's not. Yeah.
So to get back to what I was saying,
prayer. That's more of like a. I don't even know.
Yeah.
It's a spell.
Yes. So I don't know. I don't necessarily think. That's not of God. You know. Which you know, like there's people in our faith that, you know,
of the Christian faith.
Of the Christian faith. Yeah, sorry. Of the Christian faith that do believe in that stuff.
Yeah.
You know? However, I think that's completely false, and I don't believe in that. So, but yes, I think that I lost my train of thought. That's what I'm saying. So that way, so this person could be preparing themselves for a spouse, right?
Yeah. Have their thing. Like you're talking about being self-aware
Yes.
and having worked through things, not making sure you're not bringing in, you know, a bunch of baggage,
Like
into,
soul issues.
Yeah, a bunch of baggage into
Yes.
something. You know, you want to make sure, you want to be, not that you're ever going to be perfect. Nobody's ever perfect,
Right.
but there are things that are not healthy to bring into a relationship, especially if you're looking to get married.
Correct.
And that is what you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is what I'm saying. So to answer your question, you know, if this person was like, what was your first advice to me? That is my first advice, is that you need to get yourself right as much as you possibly can. You know what I mean? Like I said, sometimes healing journeys take a while and you have to be
Right.
patient. But maybe that individual that you're interested in, they could recognize that if they're mature enough and they could see like, okay, you know, this person is still journeying through their healing journey and their healing process when it comes to a certain thing in your life or whatever. And if they lock arms with you and they're in your corner and they're like, I'm praying for you, I want to see you cross the finish line when it comes to this issue or whatever you're dealing with. It doesn't even have to be an issue. That's something to consider if this person's not going to abandon you, you know, and they're going to encourage you and they're going to lift you up.
It's a green flag.
That is a green flag. Yes. And so, yeah, that's definitely, we haven't been put in that situation yet with like the people anyone in our lives, which is totally fine. I'm not saying that we need, you know, people to come seek advice from us, but that would be my thing. I think is I would be like, okay, like, let's get vulnerable. Let's open up a little bit and tell me like if there's any struggles that you're dealing with, you know? So that way you're not taking that into a potential marriage with somebody.
Yeah.
Or even like in the courting process, you know?
Yeah.
I think honesty is key.
Yeah.
Being honest with the person that you're interested in.
Yeah, but don't over. Say.
Overshare.
Don't overshare. Don't overextend. Don't because there's boundaries you have to maintain when it comes to dating. Because it's one of the things that people fall into as well. You can make the mistake of you trying to play husband or trying to play wife before you're even that. You know, like you're trying to take on that role already. You know.
Yeah.
You know, they say it a lot in, you know, trying to play house, you know, if you're not like of the Christian faith and you're dating, whatever, you've ever heard that terminology? Oh, they're playing house.
Yeah, you say that a lot.
But you've ever heard that?
I have, yes.
Because I'm passionate about that, you know, like
For sure.
I
think it's like you're putting the cart before the horse, you know?
Yeah, like don't, obviously, you know, be honest and upfront with the person you're dating. You guys know what you're both working towards, but don't give them like husband or wife privileges before that even happens. You know?
Oh,
what I mean?
absolutely. And I don't think you want to scare anybody off either.
Yeah.
You know, the Bible says to not cast your pearls before swine. And I think that clearly means like wisdom, like things of wisdom that you feel you're not supposed to share with those that maybe aren't on the same level of wisdom as you. Maybe they're not mature enough to like understand certain things. But I also kind of think, I mean, I take it as like, maybe I shouldn't be sharing a ton of stuff from my personal life with people that maybe are just not there yet to be there for me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Kind of like the whole oversharing thing, sort of, you know? So yeah, I think that, you know, I would encourage the individual as well to not date. Obviously, they're in the, you know, the situation that you set up for us. They're tired of casual dating. You know, they want to be intentional about seeking out a spouse and stuff like that. So yeah,
Yeah. 100%. Any other things boundaries wise that you think would be good for people? Physical boundaries, maybe.
Yeah. That's definitely the thing I feel like we don't talk enough about is physical boundaries. I feel as though if you're in this situation as our dear friend here in this chair, yeah, I think that you have to be smart about that kind of stuff because it can just domino effect, snowball, if you will, into, even deeper physical intimacy before that time is purposeful, is intentional.
Right.
So you're courting and maybe things are getting a little bit more serious, and it's like, okay, we're now going from courting to courting is dating, I guess. They go hand in hand. But courting is definitely just trying to get to know this person, see where they're at and things like that.
Get to know their family, know their values. What do they think about money, children, all that?
Yes, exactly. Yes. So, maybe things are getting a little bit more serious, and you're trying to test the waters when it comes to physical intimacy. I think that you can't leave any room for error in that kind of situation because, like I said, it could just lead into deeper physical intimacy before God intended for that intimacy to be experienced.
Yeah. No makeout sessions.
Exactly. Yes. Because that could just lead to more.
Know.
Yeah. It could lead to more, guys. Let's be real here.
Let's be real. Let's be real.
And so, yes, I think also let's just, look at it from a different perspective as well. Let's say that maybe things didn't work out, and
you gave up all that to someone that you weren't even going to marry.
Right. Yes. And so, but yes, that, and also you're heartbroken, you're hurt, you're offended, and you long for this person because you allowed them the physical intimacy. And now you've created almost like a soul tie with them. And which is that's deep, but, it's a real thing. It's a real thing that can happen. And I can point to a verse in the Bible. It's 1 Corinthians 6:16 through 17. Let me check out another translation really quickly.
For sure.
Yes, so 1 Corinthians 6:16 through 17. I'm using the NLV. It says, "Do you not know that a man who joins himself to a woman who sells the use of her body becomes a part of her?" Mm-hmm. So it's basically saying that physical sexual intimacy is you become one with that individual that you share that intimacy with. I don't necessarily think it has to go as far as actually having sex. I think that it could be a really long makeout session. Mm-hmm. I think that it could be other physical activity that doesn't necessarily mean third base. You know what I mean? Or I'm sorry, a home run, whatever. Yeah. So
millennial.
Sorry, gosh, geriatric millennial over here.
Okay.
But yes, I think that it just opens up the door. It opens up a can of worms for, like I said, hurt, offense. You are maybe now lusting for that person even more, even when it didn't work out, because they are all that you've ever known on that level, maybe. Or maybe you've been there, done that, and it's ready to move on to the next person, but that's just not the attitude to have, though.
Even if it is the attitude to have, let's be honest, that hurt is still there. And some people are just better at just masking it and whatever, shrugging it off. But that damage,
you're thinking about that person.
The damage that's been caused is there regardless. Whether or not they're affected by it outwardly or emotionally, it's still going to be there, and it's going to be there for the next person that they encounter.
Yep.
So it's like, why do it? Why,
Yeah. I think you should also, I think God is also a restorer of purity. So let's say that you are someone that has found Jesus maybe a little bit later in life. Maybe you weren't a teenager or a kid that has grown up in church and things like that, which is the case for us. I didn't establish my relationship with Jesus fully, in my opinion, until I was 17, when I was like, okay, like I feel like this is it for me. This is the life that God wants for me. I'm all in, you know? I don't really know necessarily when, you know, you established your relationship with Jesus. So yeah, let's say that maybe you didn't know, you didn't know these things when you were little, and maybe you've been around the block and you've slept with some people and you've dated people. But now, like I said, you've found this freedom in Jesus, this relationship with Jesus, that you know that he wants a good life for you. Things are changing. You're changing your mental.
Yep.
You're changing the way that you're going about things
You're
in life.
renewing your mind.
You're renewing your mind, all of that stuff. Don't be ashamed of the mistakes that you've made in the past.
Nah.
Because Jesus can restore that
100%.
purity 1,000%.
Might take a long time, but 5 years for me, but yeah.
Yes.
Can happen.
Yeah, it can totally happen. And so when it comes to then being physically intimate with, your spouse and things like that, there's nothing to be ashamed of. There's nothing there. Like God created that moment for the both of you to experience intimately, obviously, and to consecrate your marriage. Let's be real. You know what I mean? Like, and that's it.
Marriage.
So yeah, like I think when it comes to boundary, intimate boundary, physical boundary, it should be definitely not taken lightly. I think you have to have real expectations there for the person that you're dating, that you're courting. If you have a fine line of like, no, I'm definitely saving those very intimate things for marriage, stand 10 toes down on that. And if you feel as though the person that you're interested in is buckling or wavering, that could
maybe that's a red flag. Exactly.
That could be a telltale sign that, maybe their values aren't lining up with mine.
Right. Okay.
And pray about it, pray about it, really seek the Lord, seek counsel from trusted individuals, trusted pastors, leaders in your life. Have that. That are going to be able to help you discern the situation. Mm-hmm. So that way that pressure's not all on you, because I think we can often get in our heads and second guess ourselves when it comes to those kinds of things, because I think that you could, your heart and your mind want to believe in the best of that individual. However, you can't afford to ignore those true red flags.
Nope.
Because that can just lead into other things. And that's kind of circling back to like the unhealed baggage, is that this person hasn't tackled that just yet. So why potentially take that issue into your marriage where things could be negative, you know, and it can lead in divorce potentially. It could lead to bigger issues like
marriage won't get rid of a lust issue or something like that.
No.
It's only going to amplify it.
It will.
Put a spotlight on it.
Correct. Yes. No. And then that's when people, cheat on each other or they're seeking love elsewhere.
Or they're lying to each other
about things. And like I said, they're seeking love elsewhere. They're seeking attention elsewhere.
Yeah.
Like that, the root of those issues needs to be ripped out of the ground. And that's why I'm saying that self-awareness is like the number one thing when it comes before you even start dating.
Yeah.
Go seek God's help to heal your issues.
Yep.
And that's just going to set you up for a beautiful life, a beautiful marriage, a transparent marriage. We were transparent about the things that we dealt with personally. Mm-hmm. And that just allowed me to pray for you.
Yeah.
And to be like, okay, like I'm in your corner. I'm going to hold you accountable. I'm going to help you through this process. And then the things that I was dealing with, you were attacking it the same way, or you're approaching it the same way. So I think that transparency and honesty is key. That's why I said that in the very beginning. Honesty is key. Yep. I don't think you should hide anything from your spouse.
Keyword.
Spouse. Yeah. I think that if the conversation ever got there for individuals that were dating and courting, I think that's great. And I hope and pray that you just handle that situation with maturity.
Yeah.
Because there was conversations that you and I had when we were courting and dating where I was kind of like, whoa, like that was a lot to take in, but it didn't turn me off. I was just like, okay, like, wow, like I didn't know that about you. And so I though hindsight is 2020, I could have probably,
I'm trying to think like, what was that?
so long ago.
I'm trying to think now.
No, I remember exactly what it was, but
Oh, well, you got to share it with me. I mean, obviously you don't have
maybe
to
not
worry
right here.
about it.
Off table.
I can't wait for that. That's actually crazy. It's cool.
Yeah, or maybe it was, I don't know if it was when we were dating or when we just got married, but
Either way, it's so cool.
either way,
Still a long time ago.
yeah. But I mean, like the cool part is that we're able to say like, so if you found yourself in that situation, maybe you found something out when you guys did get first married and it's like your first year or two, because the first couple of years is rough.
Yeah.
It's raw. You're figuring this person, sorry. I'm being honest. You're figuring this person out still, like it's totally different when you start living together, when you start doing laundry, or maybe he doesn't do laundry.
Yeah.
Maybe he does do laundry, but he leaves his chonies on the ground. I don't know, like there's little things that you don't find out in courting, which is okay.
And also know this, there's so much like beauty in doing that though.
Yes.
And like just,
you don't have to test the car.
You don't have to test the car before you drive
and figure all that out.
You know what that takes? It takes some trust. Trust that you believe that God led you to this person and this is the person that you're going to be marrying, and trust that knowing that, when you say those vows, you mean them.
Yeah.
You mean them. And you might find out some things about that person. Not like the crazy stuff, not like, lust issues, all that, the stuff that we're talking about to get it right.
Yeah.
But like the stuff like, chonies on the ground, or this person,
Those
maybe
are the smaller.
Maybe they put their toothbrush on the left side of the sink and you want it on the right, that kind of stuff. Like, you're gonna find out that kind of stuff.
Those are the smaller things that I was like kind of referring to,
and that's the fun. That's
like
kind
the
of
habit
fun
stuff. Yes.
Yeah.
And but that's like where the funny, relatable things come in marriage, is that we could be at dinner with our friends that are married or something, and then you can just be like, oh, he leaves his chonies on the ground too, like that's just a guy thing or something. I don't know, like it is fun to work out those kinks. And there's things that you will probably never change about yourself that my whole life I'm going to be griping and complaining about, but that's what marriage is. I love you for it.
Yeah.
Do I love you for leaving your chonies on the ground? No, but when it comes,
First of all,
I'm just joking. I'm joking. But it's when
That's
it's
the
when
one key
it's
takeaway
when the
everybody's gonna get from
hamper
this.
it's when the
Tom
hamper
leaves his chonies on the ground.
it's when the hamper is right there, but then the chonies are like 2 feet away. That's I'm joking. I'm it's maybe not chonies, maybe it's a t-shirt or socks or something, guys. I don't know. But
oh man,
that's just funny like man stuff, like, and for me, I have my things, like you put something down, I'll move it.
Oh, let's not start.
Because let me tell you, there's a home for everything in the house, okay?
Let's not start.
There's a home for everything in the house.
Let's save that for the marriage conversation.
Whatever. I know I have my things.
Yeah.
I know I'm self-aware. I can't, like I said, there's a home for everything. Yeah.
It's all good.
Anyways,
boundaries, guys. Boundaries.
Boundaries.
But no, seriously though, there's so much that goes into dating the right way. But at the end of the day, it's gonna take humility. It's gonna take trust. It's gonna take dependency on God and His wisdom, which is in His Word. If you want it, it's in the Word. Go read it. That's a cat. And it's gonna take faith. And you need people around you that are going to be able to help you, a pastor, mother, father, if you have that, obviously you have that relationship with them and they're believers too or whatever. They're there to help you, and just, take your time. There's no need to rush either. Because I feel like a lot of people, like there was that. I think that was a trend for a while that, when it came to Christians, like, there's get ready to get married, right away. Now I think we've we've reached the other side of that extreme, which is nobody's wanting to get married. you know?
Right.
So it's like, we got to find that middle ground. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I think, sorry, excuse me. Whoa.
Jeez.
One of the reasons that we have got to that extreme where it's like there's not a lot of people wanting to get married is because they're influenced by the culture, and they've let culture's influence infiltrate the way they see dating.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we got to get back to the basics is what I'm trying to say. And
Yeah, absolutely.
and it'll be good.
Yeah.
And you'll be good.
Yeah. Yeah. For us, I mean, everyone's story is different. For us, it was very much, we had help in place. Like there was parameters in place already, which was extremely helpful.
There was accountability.
There's accountability. But there's guidelines too.
Yeah.
So did we do it completely right?
No.
No, honestly, no. However, the same values were there. The same principles were there. We genuinely did start off as friends.
Yeah.
And then it just blossomed into more.
Yep.
And we decided to be intentional about how we were going about it, because I think we both understood without saying it really that marriage was the end game.
Yep.
Because I know that you were there for sure in your life. Considering that we're 6.5 years apart, I was just kind of beginning my life.
Yeah.
But that was the story that I chose for my life, was that, okay, like I feel like I am ready, you know.
Yeah.
You have to fight. Even in last week's episode that, you know, where I was talking about getting married young and then having our daughter like a whole year later, I did have to combat the feelings of, oh my God, my life is over, because I was just locking down and committing to being a wife and committing to being a mom. And I just had to fight those thoughts of like, what did I do? You know what I mean? There goes my whole life. There goes my freedom. There goes traveling and experiencing the world, you know, as just a married woman without children, you know, or whatever. But those are all just negative thoughts, obviously, and lies, you know, trying to distract you from the beauty of starting a family early, starting a family young, you know. But like I said, all of our stories are different, and I think no matter what, you can find the goodness of God in any part of your life, and choose to see it and understand it as a blessing, you know, because I still could have chose to see it as, this is such a huge inconvenience. What did I do? You know?
Yeah.
However, that wasn't going to make me happy. That wasn't going to make this life fulfilling if I kept that negative attitude. And so I had to get a hold of myself and shake myself and be like, no, like this is what it is. And take ownership of it. It takes two to tango, you know, like this isn't Tavo's fault, you know, like it's not solely my fault either, but it was no one's fault. It was a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And it's God's story for us. And so, yeah, it was our story is different from everyone else's, you know, but like I said, at the very tail end of it, it's still beautiful, and we're still walking it out together, you know, with Lennox. So it's fun. Life is fun. And if you want to take it seriously in the sense of dating and, you know, being mindful of what that's like being a Christian, you know, it takes intentionality. It takes some shedding of bad habits, old habits of the older version of you. You know, you're a new creation. And so what does that mean? That means renewing your mind and, you know, like I said, killing those bad habits.
Yep.
You know, really praying and being prayerful about what you want in your spouse. Like I said, not too crazy of expectations, but reasonable ones. That Yeah.
Like I want him to make $300,000 a year, 6'5", fair skin,
Yeah.
looking for a guy in finance.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah.
you could. And cool.
But he could also be, a garbage truck driver.
Yeah.
Never know.
Yeah, you never know. You never know. I think that is the fun part though of being married.
Nothing
for sure.
against garbage truck drivers. I just say that because
Yeah, it's vastly different.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I think
God's gonna pair you. You're gonna find your if you run your race right, and you're going, you're gonna find that person for you. They're gonna be in that same race. They're gonna be running at the same pace.
yeah.
If you just focus on your race, you focus on what God has you doing, that person's gonna be there. And as you keep going, and then as you join, then obviously your callings kind of merge a little bit, but you're still going to, if you do it right, it all is going to continue to make sense. Oh, this is why the Lord brought you into my life. This is, God knew I was going to need you. We're going to need each other, but you got to be willing to do it the right way in order to experience that kind of blessing in your marriage. That's the truth.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
but
A good and right relationship will continue to push you towards God.
Yep.
And not away from God.
Correct.
So, where's the ding 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 ding?
Clock it.
Sound effect when you need it.
Clock
Tavo.
it.
But yeah, this was a good talk.
Sorry.
Clock it. Wait, why are you saying sorry?
No,
'Cause you
because
were
I didn't hit the
saying
horn.
clock it?
Because I didn't hit the horn.
Oh, it's okay. I wasn't looking for the horn. I think like a good ding 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 ding.
Oh, we don't got that.
She's a winner
Yeah,
type
we don't
thing,
got
you
that.
know? I know.
I need to get that. My bad.
I know. I shared that website with you that has all of those sound effects. But I didn't mean for you to like have to download whatever.
No, but I at least got to look into it.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey. We hope you were encouraged by this.
Yeah. And we hope you got something out of it.
Yeah.
I know it was, we kind of took, it was kind of ordered, but we were just kind of all over the place a little bit, but
Just a tad.
that's just kind of how
Maybe
we
we
are.
can revisit this in the future.
Easily revisit it. It'd be good to do a Q&A
that would be cool.
for this topic
Yeah.
or for any kind of topic like
That'd
this.
be cool if we did callers.
We can do that.
That would
But
be
that also
crazy.
have to be live.
Yeah.
Or we can create a phone line.
No, I
and
was
have
just
people
joking.
Leave a voicemail.
My mom and I were talking about that today. She was like, it'd be so funny if you guys took callers, but we don't have to. We don't need to do that. I think it can get messy.
No.
Yeah. But anyway, I think a
Anyways.
Q&A would be cool
It
when
would
it
be.
comes to dating specifically.
Yeah.
Talking about dating.
Topics like this. 'Cause,
Yes.
everybody has different questions and things they want to know about. And I think if you just ask us a question, we can talk. We can go.
We can yap. And
Yeah.
sorry if we did totally bounce around on this topic.
But it's okay. It's all good. They're all helpful.
Yes.
But regardless, we love you guys.
We do.
Thank you guys for making us a part of your day, as always. If you're watching this and you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Like I said, it doesn't cost you anything, but it helps us immensely. Comment, share this with somebody, that you think might enjoy it.
Yeah.
And stick around, because you know what? We're
Oh.
going to be at 20 episodes next week.
Yep.
Best believe it. And we got an interview coming. And you guys will hear about it soon. In
Yeah.
a couple days, we'll start promoting it. But
Yeah.
we love you guys.
Don't forget, if you find yourself wanting to date and all that good stuff, just be patient, be intentional, trust God's timing, and it's all going to work out. Take notes on that. Write that down.
I need to say no more. See you guys later.
Take notes. 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 Take notes.